Welcome to the Karma Recaps for episode 6. What a journey we have been on. Wow. Yes. So welcome to Karma Recaps. My name, as always, is Aaron Robertson. And as always, I am joined by an esteemed panel of Endurance Past contestants. First, I want to start with Lily, who worked on Karma as well as was on Endurance 5 High Sierras. Hello, Lily. How are you?
Hey, I'm good, Aaron. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Next, we have Miss Keaton from Endurance 2. How are
Hello.
you, Keaton?
Good. You know, green team always in the house here, guys. Green team domination.
And last but not least, we have another yellow team person here. From season 3 of Endurance Hawaii, we have Monroe.
Hey, can you believe these glasses after 15 years still fit?
Wait, those are your endurance glasses?
Are those the
That's
glasses?
the story I'm sticking with.
Wow. Yeah. So that's all I could say because that's what all the team said when they surprised the blue team when they came back from the cave of karma. You know, Jack's advice ended up working out here, and it was really interesting. Seeing the interaction between Purple because at the campfire, Jack, in front of everybody, asked, "Hey, did that thing that I told you work? You know, you picked 1, 9, and 10?" And Skyla's like, "Why did you tell everybody that we gave Blue all this advice?" And she's worried, that it's going to come back to bite them.
Yeah.
I love this dynamic. I mean, of Jack just trying to like cover his butt when like Luke kind of started figuring him out wanted to have something against him. And Jack's like, I better like make something up. And like the fact that it did work out, like the way he had described it, like how hilarious, how, karmic. Is that the right way to say it? That it did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And just Skyla seemed upset that everyone found out. I mean, I would be too, because, Purple's been flying under the radar, but now that they know how smart Jack is and can be at the cave, maybe they won't be flying under the radar for much longer.
No way.
Yeah.
You get on the wrong side of blue and they're blowing up your game. I mean, one thing we knew about the blue team was they would wild out in the huts. Any time something was going down, they were there to set it off. So Jack might have
they came to play, yeah.
Yeah.
But as long as Purple's on your side, Blue's happy. Right?
Yeah.
I would say blue team just like really impressed me because even like there was like a whole beat of an episode where it was all about how much of a liar Luke is or how much of a flip-flopper is. And by the end of the episode, he had basically gotten everybody else on his team again and was in the strongest alliance. I was like,
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Blue was really good at winning when they needed to and pulling themselves out of situations that
they really did.
Were tricky. So, I mean, Luke got himself in a bad situation when he told the whole, secret of, Gray's test against Blue. But then they came back and won the challenge. I mean, I could never have predicted that, or nobody could write that. That was crazy.
Like, you gotta love a clutch team that comes through when their back is against the wall. Even if they put their back against the wall, they got themselves out of it. I mean, you gotta like that in a set of players.
Mm-hmm. And also a team that I feel like was very underestimated just because of their size. And they were just like, the size doesn't matter, guys. We're gonna come out and I think they had a nice balance of physical as well as strategic gameplay.
Yeah, they seem popular in the hunt. Like, didn't they seem very well liked by most of their fellow Karma players? I mean, yeah, Luke had the one moment, but that was, an afternoon. But overall, it seemed like they were pretty highly regarded by most of the kids out there.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think a lot of the challenges had to really do with how well you work with your partner as well. And I think because Luke and Ariana worked very well together, they were able to perform well in those types of challenges. So, without further ado here, let's head over to this morning talk. So, gray team gave their medallions to the blue team.
After
Not to
promising
purple.
to give them
Not
to
to purple.
purple.
Yeah.
They made that deal and they didn't follow through with it. I guess. Well, what did you guys think about that? Were you surprised?
I wasn't, especially just from the way that Sienna seemed to react to it. Maybe Huck would have been more likely to give it to, but I mean, Gray and Blue had been together since the very beginning. I know, it was rocky a little bit throughout there, but they seem to consistently be on the same page. So it wouldn't surprise me that Gray would give it to Blue over Purple, who just seemed to be, maybe the vibe just wasn't there, that they didn't fully trust them.
I honestly thought it was going to go to Pink. I thought Sienna and Justin's love affair might have gotten those pieces in the end as kind of, a farewell kiss. But no, they went with Blue.
Or Purple because of Huck and Skyla, but yeah.
I kind of respected the strategic gameplay there. I don't think they really had any intention of giving it to Purple. I could be wrong, but I think that they used that to get their coin, and it worked. And it didn't end up working out at the cave, but they did go in with an extra coin because of that deal.
There was always, so back on season 3 of Endurance, how, just a couple years ago, there was always this unspoken thing that who you go up to the temple or the Cave of Karma with, that was the team that we were going to leave our pieces to. And having gone up 2 times and returned, the team that we had just taken out would leave us their pieces. And that was something that wasn't really apparent to me until going through the process. You'd think that, hey, this team just knocked me out. If there's one team I'm not leaving my pieces to, it's the people that just kicked me out. But there's this sense of camaraderie in those final moments at the cave or the temple that when you leave, you feel like you want that team to carry forward your pieces. So when Blue got the karma pieces, that to me that seemed very it made a lot of sense to me when I thought about it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of Endurance Hawaii, hey, look at this. Headstrong is back. It's even called Headstrong. This is a modified version of the second Right to Stay challenge from Endurance Hawaii that we saw Tom win and pick Vanetta as his partner to return as the brown team. Mm-hmm. And this time, it's a 2-person version of Headstrong, and they are not standing on the ground this time. They're actually standing on circular platforms, but that contraption looked the same. I had a flashback when I saw that. I was like, this is the Headstrong.
Leave it to the creators of Karma to take an endurance challenge, bring it forward, make it twice as horrible, and then say, hey, go ahead, players, take it away. I mean, that one looked really tough, and I thought it looked tough 15 years ago when I saw the other players doing it.
And
that's like a hard position.
They couldn't use Tom's strategy, which was
the triangle,
putting his legs in a triangle. So they really had to squat.
Squats are the worst. And also the height differences in people, that had to make it even more difficult. How they handled it. I know their platforms they were on. They tried to. If you guys noticed the little wooden platforms, they tried to kind of compensate for the height differences. But at the same time, I think there's only so much that can compensate for when you're trying to work with equal pressure with somebody who is completely built different at a different height than you.
I did notice that. Lily, behind the scenes question, because it seemed like the girls were all standing on the higher podium, even though on some of the teams, maybe the height differential would have been more strategic to put the girls on the lower podium.
Right. Well, they were all assigned where they're going to be because those were measured to make it fair. So you'll see Andy's is actually lower than Erin's because she's taller, but most of the other girls are shorter, so theirs were a little higher.
Yeah, I saw this challenge and I said, oh, you know what? I think Blue is probably going to win this because out of the teams are the most even between each other, so there wouldn't be much of a difference in terms of trying to balance and trying to compensate for any height difference and there wouldn't be an uneven amount of pressure. Like I felt like, and I mean, they almost did. I mean, it was really like a photo finish there at the end.
That was really crazy. It was like less than a second.
Yeah.
Totally different game, I think, if Blue wins this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because didn't they? Was that maybe? Did they go to the Karma Cave after that?
Right, because Pink barely beat Blue, and then Pink sent Blue.
Yeah.
Shady.
Red. Yeah, to the Karma Cave.
Yes. Now, you know, I'm gonna wait until, because we do happen to have both Ariana and Luke here. So in just a few moments, we are going to bring them in and talk with them, because I want to talk with them about a certain moment between the Cave of Karma and this challenge. The whole hunt all over the camp, which I'm excited to talk with them about. But before we do that, any of your thoughts on the episode as a whole, the whole Cave of Karma, you know, just what happened, this final 3 that we have?
I mean, again, we're getting in the home stretch. I feel like I feel so endeared to all of these teams. And that's the weird thing that I felt like with Karma that I did not feel with Endurance. I was sad to see every one of these teams go. Where when I was watching all the seasons of Endurance, I'm like, can so-and-so get kicked out already? I'm so over them, or they're so mean. Where every single one of these teams, I could find a great reason to root for them. And I don't know if that's the casting, if that's just how the editing or what, but it's been fun to watch, and the final 3, it's great, but it's sad to see Blue go.
Yeah, I think that with Karma, we really wanted there to be time for the contestants' stories. Like, who are these people? Not just here, but in their home lives, and like what inspires them to be here and to keep fighting. And I think we really saw that with Ariana. And even though we did see the Blue team, you know, struggle sometimes or have arguments, like there were so many redeeming qualities about Blue team and reasons to root for them as people and in the game.
Okay.
Yeah. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go to our sponsors, and when we come back, we'll have Ariana and Luke join us. We'll talk everything non-spoilers, everything from episodes 1 all the way up until episode 6. And then at the very end, we'll let all the spoiler-free people go and then talk full spoilers of the whole season of Karma, including the last episodes at the end.
We're spilling that tea.
Yeah, spilling that tea. So, all right. So we are going to go to a break and come back shortly. See you soon. And we're back. So I am so excited to talk to this team. When we first met this person got a free pass as well. Oh, or not. I don't see them anymore. Never mind. Oh, wait.
We'll edit this out.
Yeah, we're gonna skip over that part. You know what? Let's just bring in Ariana for right now as Luke gets settled in. Hi, Ariana.
The girl who earned her right to stay. Welcome to
Yes.
Talk.
Yes, she did.
How are you doing, Ariana? Thanks for coming on the show with us.
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Ariana, how have you been since kind of you guys filmed Karma? Have you been doing okay? And was it fun getting to finally watch the season?
It was definitely like strange seeing yourself on something like that, because I never thought I would be on like a reality TV show like ever. So, but it was good. I enjoyed it.
Did anything surprise you? I mean, it's been a year. It was a year ago that we filmed this, so it's like it's been a long time. Was there anything you forgot about or anything that surprised you when watching it back?
I would say the whole thing with like all the drama that went on with my partner. I didn't really know some of it until watching the show. So I was like really shocked. I was like, wow, like I really wish I knew that because I feel like I could have prevented a lot of things from happening.
Like what?
Yeah, speaking of that, here's Luke.
Hi. How are you
Welcome,
guys?
Luke. Good. How are you doing?
Good. I've been great.
Good. Well, Ariana was just telling us about some of the things she didn't like expect happened, or that she was surprised about watching Karma back. Were there any things you were really surprised about seeing?
Yeah, a lot of the behind the scenes interviews, kind of people trash talking each other, but we didn't even know because we didn't get to see the backstage interviews or behind the scenes interviews. So yeah, there was a lot of shocking things that people like, different conversations. So yeah.
Like, what were you surprised to see? Like, who was thinking back where you're like, man, I did not expect to see this sort of point of view from this person?
Yeah, I would say probably Huck, because a lot of the show he seemed pretty trustworthy, pretty just like a solid person to be in an alliance with. And so once I saw a lot of the things like in his personal interviews, I was really surprised, and I almost was like, wow, like we got really lucky because we did end up kind of talking a lot with them. So I was surprised with a lot of the things he said and some of the strategies he had.
How did you guys, because, you know, there's a big moment, Luke, where they kind of test your loyalty towards the beginning. And you, even though you went through that and you guys had like 3 teams ganging up, kind of yelling at you, you were able to kind of turn it around and end up getting, you know, those people on your side and getting as far as you did. What do you think, how do you guys think you really made that happen?
That, I would say, was my whole plan, was because Huck was cool until I'd say he started hanging out with Yellow Team and Orange Team. And I said in one of my interviews, I said, I'm going to make sure I break up their group. I'm going to make sure it happens because I know when Huck's not around them, he'll be around me. And I want his help. You know what I mean? He's a big dude, bigger guy. So that was my plan. And it somewhat worked. And yeah.
It did work. Yeah.
Yeah. And your karmic law was responsibility, you know, sort of being accountable. And I felt like Blue had a big amount of responsibility for a lot of what happened in Karma. How did you feel that your karmic law fit you in your journey, and how has that continued to carry afterwards?
Wow. That's a big question, really. Ariana, do you want to answer this one? I'm kind of stumped. I really don't know. I know it's helped me out of the game, I would say. It's definitely helped me out of the game.
Yeah. What was the question again? Sorry.
Oh yeah. So your karmic law was responsibility. So how do you think that translated to your experience on Karma and after Karma?
I would say it's really helped me outside of the show because I go into certain situations thinking like, well, if I would do something, like I don't know how to like word it, but like I go in like thinking like, if I do that, will I get something good in return, or how will that come back on me? So I'm like, I guess you would say like I look at like I strategize it before I do it. So
sounds like you're just thinking about karma in regular life. Like, is that something you used to think about? Did you believe in karma coming into the show? Like,
yeah.
Did it change your opinion of karma itself?
Definitely. Because I wouldn't really think, like, I never really believed in karma. Like, my mom would always tell me, like, Ariana, like, be careful what you say. Like, karma's really a thing. And I'd be like, you know what? Like, no, it's not. Like, it's not real. But definitely going on a show based on karma and how your actions, like, come back to you, I definitely, like I think of it more.
Ariana, I know one of your standout moments to me was when you guys won the challenge, when your backs were against the wall, and you guys kind of held office hours somewhat, or you almost were like the principal's office, and you called every team in one by one and was like, why should we not send you to the cave? Why should we? Is that, like, when you saw that moment, what did you feel?
Watching it back, I definitely feel like I was a little bit rude. I mean, I just feel like I let like winning get to me. But I feel like that kind of happened to everybody. Like, just being on a reality show, like, it really gets to you, and you don't know, like, you don't realize how you're acting. So I definitely feel like if I could go back, I would definitely redo that and like just keep my cool down a little bit. So
I have to hear a little bit about the chaos of episode 3. Everybody remembers the moment Michelle walks in and it's so chaotic that she has to like calm you guys down. Kind of give us the backstory on that, and where were you guys in that?
Yeah. I would like to say I'm proud of myself, because I think I started a little bit of that, and I think it helped our team a lot, because it kind of took the attention off of us, I would say, which is, my plan. I want to win. So when I walked in, and I think it was Adrian, and he said I wasn't a man or something like that, and I'm like thinking to myself, like, does this kid have the audacity to say that when I am the one who just won the challenge? Like, you're not gonna mess with me right now. So, so when I walked out and I said, "Oh, you got to deal with your partners. You got to deal with them," that's when I think Ilya and Presley started really, really kind of buckling down. Like, wow, this is serious. Like, you guys are putting us at a risk of going to the cave. And so, yeah, that episode was just crazy.
So you saw that as a strategic opportunity?
Oh, for sure, yeah. I thought it was, yeah.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, you guys seemed like one of the teams that, like, a lot of the teams seemed pretty upset about being paired together. You guys seemed like you were fine with it. Like, that it was like, I think you were maybe the only team that was really okay with it. And also your partnership didn't really upset anybody else either. Is that really how it was? Or were you guys a little kind of annoyed that you got paired up?
I think you got it exactly right. I loved getting her. I didn't have any like complaints at all. So I was really happy. I think the one thing we said, the first thing I grabbed her and I said, we are really small, so we either can use this to our advantage or we're gonna get cooked out there. So we just gotta come in and fight with our all.
And that's what you guys did.
Yes, sir.
I wasn't really mad at all. I was like actually really happy, because I feel like I just feel like we worked really good together. Like, we're the same height. I feel like we went in with like the same like mindset. Like, obviously we all wanted to win. Like, it was a game of $50,000. Like, that's a big deal. But at the end of the day, I feel like me and Luke, like, yeah, we wanted to win, but we kind of put that behind us and went in just like focusing on like just trying to make it as far as we could.
Exactly. To add on to that, like, I really in the moment wasn't competing for the $50,000. I was competing to just stay at camp so I could hang out with my friends. Like, that was that was the last thing in my mind. I'd probably say if I made it to the final 2, I would definitely be like, all right, now we got to buckle down. But like, I was really just trying to stay at camp because it was just an amazing experience.
For sure.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about this scavenger hunt in between after the challenge and before this cave. What was that like, running around the camp and in search of this mystery
prize or whatever it was?
It looked really good. It looked. I wanted to go to the store and kind of recreate that in my own apartment after seeing that.
Yeah. I definitely turned on the jets, I'd say, and just went for it. It was so funny. After that all happened, I said to Ariana, I'm like, when this show comes out, I better have a track offer because I took off. And so yeah, that was fun, and it was also kind of a way to get our competitive mindsets off the game, kind of just relax and just have fun and because it was starting to slim down the teams, and we were really starting to not trust each other. So I'd say it brought us together again as friends to just, keep our mindsets fresh and keep our friendships fresh, I'd say, because sometimes the game can get mixed with emotions, and we see that a lot in Karma. And so, yeah, I think it was a really good thing to have that happen, that little game.
I have a question about episode 5, Luke. That's the episode where you get sent to the cave with Gray.
Yep.
And Jack wants to help you guys out in the cave, so he gives you some advice, but he doesn't give you the coin. And he has to explain himself why he doesn't give you the coin. So he explains it like, "Oh, I just said a bunch of mumbo jumbo and tried to make it sound smart."
It's
like,
a bunch of.
Did that surprise you? Did you know about that?
Like I said, I think I said this on my Instagram live. I was talking to a bunch of people who were asking me about that, and I was like, no, I didn't even know. So when I saw, I turned to my mom. I'm like, so this was all a setup? Because I don't want to give too much away, but it really didn't feel like a setup because it kind of helped me in the long run. So I really felt like it worked, even though it wasn't really a real strategic move. So in the end, I really didn't have an opinion on it. Like, oh, Jack, you steered me wrong, because it really worked out in my favor. But I was definitely surprised.
Yeah, even though it came from a place of making something up, I actually do think that's probably a reason as to why to make it a tie, especially coming off of the heels of, I don't know if you were aware of what happened at that first Cave of Karma where Green found their coin on the first try and Yellow almost went home because of that. So to prevent a situation like that from happening again, making it even so that at least if the unthinkable happens, there's a way to curb that.
In episode 5, they didn't make it even, right? So Jack.
Oh yeah,
Purple
was it? There was
the
still
only one with a. Oh, you're right. No, I can't remember right now because Purple and Pink got to give a coin.
Because it's 5 teams. It's 5 teams, right. So 2 teams are giving.
Yeah, you're right. Pink and Purple both gave a coin, and Pink gave it to Blue, and Purple gave it to Gray. Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of coins,
no, go Monroe.
Oh, you guys had the extra coin or something. Like you had this extra coin that you were holding on to. And I'm like, these kids, they got a coin. They're going to bring that with them when they eventually go. And like they're sitting pretty. They got this kind of leg up. They could use it to barter not being sent. And I think if I'm right, you guys gave away the coin rather than keeping it for yourself. Who did you guys give it to? And why did you decide to give it away instead of holding it for the unfortunate potential of going to the cave at some point?
I think we gave it to Gray Team. I'm pretty sure. And that's when, like I said, it kind of traces back to where I really did trust Huck. So when watching like the whole show after this all happened, I was really surprised of how untrustworthy he was. So I was like, wow, like we really we were very loyal to him. So it was just really surprising to see that. But yeah, we gave it to him, and I think Ariana and I decided it'd be for good karma in a sense. To the point
you gave
where
it to Huck. You didn't give it to Gray. It seems very clear you guys this was for your friend Huck, or Sienna
exactly,
just happened to kind of be there.
But Ariana, you and Sienna were pretty close too, right?
Yes, we were. We definitely had kind of a best friendship building. And I feel like once we went into the cave with them, that kind of just I didn't really know what to do. Behind the scenes, we actually wrote each other these letters, in case one of us didn't come back. So.
Wow. Oh, that's
really
awesome.
sweet. Do you guys have any really standout best memory from your experience on Karma?
Yeah, I would say I don't want to like again give too much away, but it'd probably be when we were in the cave with Gray, just because I had this one moment where I turned Ariana around, and it just changed the whole game. So I feel like that was something that I really was like a good memory, and we still talk about it
Yes.
today. Like wow, like that was crazy.
What was that exactly? Was that when you said reverse psychology?
Oh
What did
yeah,
you-
yeah. So Huck was staring at me a lot, trying to use a poker technique, which I was already on the same page as him. I knew what he was doing. So it was nothing new or surprising to me. And so I used it as well. But I used it not with my face really, but I used it like in my mind, and I was just kind of writing down things he would say to me in my mind at the same time. So
Whoa.
when he walked up to like the pots, I don't think they showed this in the show, but a little behind the scenes that he walked up to the pots and he looked at me and he used the poker technique, and he looked at me and he said, they wouldn't put they wouldn't put two coins next to each other. And so I wrote that down in my head. I'm like, why would he say, like, that was just so random. Why would he say that? And then we were on our next swing, and I looked at Ariana and I turned her around and I'm like, he's using reverse psychology on us. It's totally clear. He was really obvious about it. So I turn her around and I say, it's that pot. It's that one. Like
You did.
he put,
because it was next to the other one?
yeah. So he basically said that we wouldn't put two next to each other, even though he's the one who put two next to each other. So I knew at the end, I'm like, he put two. I know it. And that's why we were so confident with choosing that pot.
Do you think Huck knew that he had just done this tell that would result in him being kicked out, or do you think he thought he was outsmarting you? Because we saw a lot of Huck doing some crazy mental gymnastics in the cave. I mean, he really had a lot of strategy there, but it seems like he was his own downfall based on what you just described.
I knew right when we pointed at that pot. I knew it just in Sienna's face and his face. His face went from kind of being a smiling kind of smirk to like, ooh, I'm playing you, to more of like a straight face to like, oh crap, like. So I knew for sure, even just looking at him, that it was true. And another little like behind the scenes thing was that when he got sent home, he saw my dad at the hotel, and the first thing he said to my dad was, Luke beat me at my own game.
Ooh.
So we were on the same page the whole entire time.
Whoa.
And I think that's why Huck and I think even though he was a little untrustworthy during the show, that's why we got along a little very well when he wasn't around other teams, because we were on the same page strategically in everything. So I think that's why we worked well.
Well, I think that you knowing him so well as a person and a player was what gave you that knowledge to know how he's going to act in the cave. He thought he was outsmarting you, but you were one step ahead because you knew him that well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, your friendship with Huck ended up being the reason why you beat him. So,
and that's why you got to treat others. I guess this is kind of rolls in with karma. You got to treat others the way you want to be treated, because if I treated Huck horribly, I might have not gotten close to him, and maybe he would have kind of gave away a lot of secrets.
Yeah.
That's true.
Ariana, do you have a standout moment that you remember for yourself?
What was the question again?
Do you have a moment, like your favorite moment experience, whether in like behind the scenes or on camera, that you had while participating in Karma?
This is a hard one. There was a lot. I would say probably like giving our second coin to the Gray team, because I feel like that really built trust, and like we got their trust too. So that's probably really memorable.
And essentially could have been the reason Yellow went home. Like that move.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted all along. Like I didn't want them back. So
what was it about the Yellow team?
Well, I would say I was like the game, like I said, was played with a lot of emotion, and I could just tell a lot of people were ganging up on me, and maybe because I was a little more obvious with my strategic moves, but I just wanted them out, not because I didn't like Ilya or I didn't like Eli, because I still think they're great people, but I feel like Eli during the game just had something against me for some reason, and I have no idea why, but
Okay.
I didn't want that, like, following me around the whole game, like, oh, I gotta watch out for Eli, oh, I gotta watch out for Eli, oh, I gotta watch out for Eli and Ilya. I didn't want to have that on my shoulders. So I was just like, please just get them out so then we can just keep focusing and move forward.
So you felt like Eli was gunning for you, and it was totally beneath the surface, but you had
Yeah.
this.
Oh, yeah.
I definitely feel like Ilya and Eli were really strong competitors, because on the second challenge, it was like the picking partners challenge. Ilya and Eli both participated in that challenge, and you saw like a whole nother side of Ilya that you've never seen before, because she got the free pass on the first challenge, which was the right to say, and she was like one of the second to last girls still up there, and I was like, dang, I didn't think she was gonna make it that long. And same with Eli, like he almost won.
Interesting.
Yeah, they were very impressive in that one.
Luke, do you still, when you watched it back, did you still regret that you got saved in that right to stay challenge?
Not at all. Not at all.
Period.
I can twist it to another word where I felt bad for Jack, but no, I don't regret it at all.
Yeah,
Why not?
Why
especially
should
if
you?
somebody else had it for you too. So
Yeah.
Do you think you would not have made it, Luke?
Oh, I think I would have made it for sure.
Good.
You didn't want to get in the cold water.
I'd say I didn't want to get in the cold water, but maybe it was almost out of like because that was our first challenge, so I was almost like, I can't get out, because it was. I believed in myself, but I'm like, just what if? You know, I had so many what ifs, and sometimes I'm self-conscious with myself and like my abilities, I'd say, and so I was worried, like, what if I can't showcase my talent? Like, what if I get out on this just because I slip, or, you know, I fall in the water and I just can't get back up? I feel like if we went back and did it, I totally would have been able to do it. I just wanted to be able to prove myself further in the game.
Mm-hmm. Ariana, in episode 6, we get to hear a conversation between you and Andy, where you're telling her about your family and your siblings and you know, getting adopted and stuff. And I loved hearing your interviews about that kind of being your inspiration to push you forward. Can you talk about that a little bit? And what does your family think about the show?
Fun fact, when the show actually aired, I stayed up to watch it. Like, I stayed up till 12 and I watched it. And then the next day, my family actually threw me a premiere party and we all watched it together. We binged like the whole show. It was amazing. My dad, I love my dad so much. He's the one that actually went with me. And he was like, although he was there, like he knew some things, like he would turn and look to me, like at me and be like, you did so good. Like, I didn't even know that happened. And my mom, like, I really wish my mom could have gone with me, but my mom supported me throughout the whole thing. It was funny. Before I actually went, she's like, Ariana, I don't care who you have to stab in the back, you better win. And I was like, okay. Because, like, I was so scared. I was like, okay.
Mom putting Ariana up to the dirt.
She's like, you have permission.
That's where she gets the competitiveness from.
Yeah, that's where you get that sass from, girl. Own it.
Yeah.
Do we want to move into spoilers?
Yeah. So
Let's do it.
before we do for the non-spoiler people, for everybody, where can people follow you if you'd like them to?
I'll go. Are you talking to me? Should I go first?
Both.
Me
Yeah, both
or
of you.
Luke?
All right,
Both of you.
perfect. I'll go first. So
I don't care.
you can follow me on Instagram, luke.youssef, Youssef. It's kind of a difficult name. It's Arabic, so. And then you can also follow my new YouTube channel that Ariana helped me. She helped me set up. It's also Luke Youssef, but no, it's no dot or anything. Just Luke Youssef. And you can also follow that. I released my first like official, I'd say like pretty like organized YouTube video, so that's up. So yeah, thank you,
Ooh.
Ariana.
Great.
How about Ariana?
You can follow me. My Instagram is lee.ariana, lee.ariana. And my sister and I actually have a YouTube channel. It's called Crazy Duo.
Crazy Duo?
The Lee girls are crazy.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. All right. So for the non-spoiler people, we will let you go here. Watch those last 2 episodes. Come back, listen to this, listen to all the other ones, and yeah, I can't wait to see you when you come back. And for the spoiler people who have watched the whole season, welcome. Okay, spoilers. Woo! All right.
Let's get it.
So, you know, you are out of the final 4, and you come back for this final Cave of Karma challenge, and all the teams are there, and they're all witnessing it. What was it like being there in that moment, watching this unfold before you?
Luke, you can go first.
I can go first. So wait, which one is this? Is this the second? Is this
Yes.
where we get
I
sent?
need to think about mine.
This is the final.
When you're
the
watching Purple and Red.
Yeah.
Oh, we're watching. Okay, so when we're watching Purple
It's
and
like
Red.
when we come back.
Yeah.
All right, so when we come back and like we're able to watch the whole thing unfold, I was cheering for Purple the whole entire time. I wanted them to win. It was nothing against Red, I would say. I was just like really close to Skyla. And I think Jack and I connected a lot off camera, like playing cards, just talking about certain things, having cool debates. They were all like really friendly debates about certain things, like religion and all that type of stuff. So it was really cool to like connect with him. So I think I had like a stronger bond with them. So in the end, that's who I cheered for.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And how about you, Ariana?
I was definitely on the same page as Luke, 100%. Not like Luke said, not that it has anything to do with the red team. But I just feel like Purple was just really flying under the radar the whole time, and they really played the game strategically. Because like if you think about it, like Jack said, like although like they didn't win any challenges, like if they did, then I feel like they would have had a target on their back. I feel like they really played the game good, and I wish I had that mindset that Jack had, because I definitely feel like that would have helped us in the long run. So I was definitely like voting Purple team all the way.
What did you guys think of that final challenge? Like, did you like that as kind of like the winner determination, or you think you would have been good at it?
I would say I liked it, but I feel like again it should have been another, maybe like they should have mixed a little bit of like activity in it. I feel like it was a lot more. It was a mind game for sure. So I feel like maybe if they added something where like you had to maybe find, or like a scavenger hunt, like find the letters, so you had to run back and forth, almost like a race, would be really cool. But I did love I love the challenge. I love the untying the rope. That was a really cool idea. And I was talking to Ariana about that. I'm like, I don't even know if I could have done that. Skyla was just going like this the whole entire time. And I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, how are you doing that so fast? And she was just in like I think a mode where like we're gonna win this. We're gonna win this. Like we haven't won one challenge. We're gonna win the final one, and we're gonna get the $50,000. So that was a really cool mindset she had.
That's interesting, because you guys say you were both clearly squarely in Purple's camp in that final thing, but you also seem like you wanted to maybe see a little bit more physical elements in the final challenge. Okay. Out of all the teams, Purple team definitely was.
I really liked the challenge. I liked how they set it up, but I would change, instead of like spelling out karma like when you roll it, I would have like probably made it to where you have to like go find like the puzzles like in the lake, or like make it to where it's like a scavenger hunt, kind of like how they did it when they were like doing the treasure chest things. Like I would have made it like that to where it's like kind of more like not competitive, but where it's physical. I would have wanted to do like a physical challenge, not really a mental. So.
But purple was so not physical. I mean, I have a real, as a viewer, I am struggling with, and this is just my own biases, and one of the reasons why I love you guys as a team was you won some challenges. You guys really played in the challenges and showed up. And not to say I think you have to be the biggest athlete, at the camp to win, but there's something, I don't know where I'm falling on the fact that purple never even came close to winning a challenge.
This is where I agree with Monroe a lot, is that I feel like when people say, wow, Jack played the game so well, he played it so on the low. I don't think they played it on the low on purpose. Jack couldn't win any challenges. Skyla was getting frustrated.
True.
It wasn't like Skyla was coming back to camp in tears because she was doing it on purpose. They wanted to win challenges. They couldn't. So it's almost like their inability to win challenges helped them in a long run, but it was all an accident. We know that. You know what I mean? So I feel like it wasn't all strategic with Jack.
Because like even on the challenge where we were in a squat, like holding the stuff like on our heads, like as soon as they got out, like she just went over to the side and started bawling because they hadn't won any. And I definitely agree with Monroe on that one.
You guys both seem like really strategic people. Were you guys a little frustrated, like not being the most like probably athletic people there or the strongest athletic people there, that there weren't more challenges that were like puzzle based? Because you both seem like super smart and you seem to really enjoy that stuff. Were you guys bummed a little bit about that?
I wouldn't say I was bummed because we were getting second place most challenges and we could have easily won every challenge. We could have. But I feel like it worked out in our favor because winning challenges, as you see with Mac winning the challenge, it puts a target on your back.
True.
So getting second place proves that we can do the challenges, but it also doesn't put a target on our back with having to send teams to the cave all the time.
True.
So
great spot to be
that headstrong challenge.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Luke. I'm not mad at all.
Yeah.
I have to ask you guys about the challenge in episode 6. It was, you held up those poles above your head for like 8 or 9 minutes, and oh my god, what happened at the end there?
That was the challenge. I'd say I was truly upset. The ones that Ariana and I competed in, we would get second, third place, whatever, and I was like, we're still doing great. I mean, we're fine. No one's targeting us. But that challenge, I think, was a must-need just because that secured our final 3 spot, and we needed that win. So that was really disappointing because we fell a second before they fell.
Yeah.
And I really think, and I do believe, that we would have been in probably the finals if we won that challenge.
So any final words before we...
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Because even Avon, like after that challenge, like she had an interview, and she was like, honestly, if the blue team would have stayed up for 2 seconds longer, like they would have won. And I was like going back and seeing that because I didn't know she said that. So like being in my room watching that, I was like, are you kidding me? Like I don't know. I kind of felt like not defeated, but like I feel like we could have done better. Like we weren't like communicating as well as we should have been.
Mm-hmm.
You guys did it a lot longer than I could have.
That's for sure. You guys did very well.
And it's crazy because I remember watching Monroe's endurance episode.
I didn't have to do it.
When I figured out that I was going to be on the show, I was kind of training myself and watching old episodes.
Oh.
Like, how am I going to prepare for this? So I prepared like a week before, and I binged all of them on YouTube. And
yay!
I made sure
Did you do any practice challenges? Did you do any like, okay, I saw this on the show, they could do it, I'm going to see if I can do it? Any sort of calisthenics?
Yeah, so I did a lot of planking, I'd say. a lot.
Okay.
Like I'd time myself in planks just to see like kind of my endurance, how long I can last even through the pain and like with people like cheering and cameras on you and all of that. So yeah, I definitely prepared, and I feel like maybe that helped me a little bit with kind of moving forward in karma.
Definitely.
Did a lot of people watch Endurance? Sorry, I'm just curious now because Luke, it seems like you watched Endurance. It seems like Skyly watched Endurance. Did a lot of you know the show because of Endurance?
I say I'm too young to know the show just because I think it was aired when I was probably like I don't know, when was your show?
You were like 2 or 1.
You
I
weren't
was
even
like
born
2, exactly.
yet.
Exactly.
Mine aired in
So
2000.
So it was already kind of like past, and it kind of sucks because I wish I knew of it earlier because I probably would have watched a lot more and maybe even known. But I figured out about this. I knew about the show once we got contacted and we saw that JD Roth was one of the, I think it was executive producer, or he was one of the producers. And so we were looking up all his shows online, and we're like, oh my gosh, Endurance. This kind of explains what our extreme camp is going to be like. And so that's when I started binging. Yep.
You're like, oh snap, JD Roth.
Oh,
what
yeah.
have I got myself
yeah.
into?
Oh yeah.
I want to ask about your guys's just overall thoughts of being on the show and the experience and how it changed you. Because I know that your guys' exit interviews were, it seems like you did change. Luke, like you had talked about, I mean, in an earlier episode, I remember you saying, oh, if Grace sends us, I don't care, in or out of game, I'm not.
I'm never friends.
And then your exit interview was the fact that I didn't win doesn't matter because I got all these great friends. Friends matter more than money. Like, do you still think that? And what are your thoughts looking back?
Yeah, I definitely think that for sure. And just kind of like overlooking, like as I'm like sitting there like ready to leave, I was kind of just like a bunch of like, it was like a movie like playing through my like when I got there, when I landed, when we set up, we walked through the woods and everything, it just kind of all replayed. And I guess when like I got off, I was like, I want to do this again. So I feel like it made me like more hungry to like do other things in my life and do certain things like this because I really enjoy it and it's something I enjoy to do. And a lot of people don't enjoy like doing their job. And I feel like it was like a fun experience, but we were also like still working. Like, so I feel like it makes me want to do like a lot of things in life and really aim as high as possible for something in life.
Heck yeah, Luke. Yes.
Heck yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
I love that. Ariana, how do you look back on the whole journey now?
I definitely feel like I've grown as a person, mentally and physically, because I would never, like, in a million years do something like that if I had the choice. But I guess I just went in thinking like, well, not like I went in knowing that like I wasn't that strong mentally, but going back, like I definitely feel like I doubted myself, and I learned not, like, to go with your gut feeling, because you never know like what could happen. So I just learned like not doubting myself and just going with what I feel is right.
That's awesome.
That's funny that you say you didn't think you were mentally strong, because Ariana, on the show, you came across like a pit bull. I mean, you and Luke were taking no prisoners, and that was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, you guys were a great team. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to talk to us. This has been such a pleasure.
I enjoyed it a lot.
Awesome. We'll keep in touch, and good luck with everything and your YouTube channels. I can't wait to check them out.
Yes.
Thank you.
Woo.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, great job,
Thank
Blue
you guys
Team.
for joining us. It was great.
Yes,
to talk
thank you.
Thank
Blue
you.
Team,
I
for
hope
doing
you all
that.
have a great night or day or wherever you are.
Thank you. We appreciate
Bye.
it.
Bye,
Agree?
guys.
right. Bye.
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 Bye, Ari.
And there you have it. So that was the Blue Team. Thank you all so much for joining us here. So as always, you can find me on Instagram at the Orange Double A, or on Twitter at AARobertson94, or on previous Rob Has a Podcast things. Keaton, where can people find you?
You guys can find me all over the interwebs at Keaton Markey.
Lily?
You can find me on Instagram at Tiger Lily Brown, on Twitter at Lily27sings, and also on Instagram, the Karma Instagram is Karma on HBO Max.
Ooh, yeah. So there's the Lily27sings, Karma on HBO Max, and Monroe.
You can find me on LinkedIn. Aaron never shows my LinkedIn handle. I'm trying to promote my tax services, you guys.
Okay, let me know if I spell it right here. Let me.
Did you notice my name, you guys? No, that's right.
Start
That's
a
right.
hashtag Nathan Instagram.
Okay.
That's it. Hop over to LinkedIn, you guys, and connect. Build your network.
You should really be sponsored by LinkedIn, Monroe.
Get on that LinkedIn.
Well, it's so great to talk to Blue Team. You can tell that they're still really good friends after this, and I love to see that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. They
And so much
have
was
a lot in
strategic. I love them talking about their strategy.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't get to tell Luke how much, like, I thought blue was such a good color for him because his eyes are so blue. But
It makes his eyes
pop.
pop.
Yes, the eyes
makes
really
his eyes
pop.
pop.
Yeah.
This was fun, though, guys. It was nice connecting with Blue Team, and they are
We got a
definitely...
lot to unpack with Purple, Keaton, don't you think? Like,
We do.
hearing what Blue had to say,
Drama.
I'm realizing we're going to need to take some real time with Purple and sort some of this out.
So with that, we will leave you for now, and we will come back later. So goodbye, and see you for episode 7 and 8 here.
Woo!
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.